help someone else back to their home. Why don't you take the heart you've been given at the start of the end? You'll be cast in the wild, you'll even go through like you know what you do. Run around aimless and scared like a child. All that you take, all that you take, all that you take. All that you take is the heart you've been given.
Proud to be the award-winning WUTK 90.3 FM, Knoxville, Tennessee. Broadcasting from the campus of the University of Tennessee and streaming at WUTKradio.com and on the free Radio FX smartphone app.
It's Wednesday, time for Rock Solid Sports.
Pitch hit high in the air into left field, and that ball is gone. George Beck has given Tennessee the lead. Christian Scott, a leap at the fence. He robs a home run.
Sponsored by Fieldhouse Social, the modern sports bar next to campus at University Commons. FieldhouseSocial.com.
Ben Joyce kicks and delivers. Strike three.
Rock Solid Sports, the only show with a home field advantage for UT Athletics. Here's tonight's host.
Welcome into a beautiful Wednesday night here in Knoxville, Tennessee. You are rocking with WUTK The Rock 90.3. This is Rock Solid Sports, your Wednesday night edition. Thank you so much, everybody out there, for tuning in, whether you're on Facebook, you're listening to us through the airwaves. However you are joining the show, you picked wisely how to spend your 7 o'clock hour. Man, we've got a lot to talk about. We, of course, have a huge game going on campus this weekend, which we are going to immediately dive into here in just a second. We are also going to be talking MLB postseason because it is that beautiful, magical time of the year that they call October. And we are also going to discuss the NHL starting their season, along with some NFL and Titans talk as always. Thank you so much again for joining us tonight. We are going to throw it to our guy Justin over at Fieldhouse Social. Justin, how is it going over there?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm having a great time over here in Fieldhouse Social. It's trivia night, and so many people are mistaking the actual trivia guy. The actual trivia guy is going down here. Just hosting it from our sponsor here at Fieldhouse Social. Very excited for this. Very excited for this week as well. And yeah, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. Everyone here is rocking, ready to go for tonight's segment. Throw it to Dylan real quick beside me, and then over to Dominic in the fishbowl. How we doing tonight, guys?
I don't think I've ever been this fired up about sports ever in my life. We got hockey back tonight. My Caps are playing right now, just started. It's Bama hate week, so looking forward to just talking about that. And it's the eyes of the world are on us, essentially, and it's just... If I could scream into this mic out of being so hype, I would, but I don't want to break the speakers.
I am right there with you, Dylan. I am giddy with glee for this game. Absolutely ready. Just cannot wait for this weekend. It's all that's on my mind. We got to take it to Nick Saban.
Yeah, this has to be historical too. Like, it's 2 straight home games. In college game day. That just doesn't happen. You know, and now this happened here. It just really feels like, okay, is this it? Or we finally showed that we are a college football program. Yeah, like Dylan said, I'd scream in the mic too if I could.
We're all feeling that kind of an energy for sure. I promise you guys. Like I am just loaded up and ready to go for this week, man. And I'm covering the game this weekend, so I will fortunately be there. But in the press box, I will not be able to express my true feelings and content for the for the Crimson Tide and their entire state. But you know what? That's okay. I get to do that tonight, and then Saturday will be all business. So again, Justin over at Fieldhouse Social. That is 2525 University Commons Way. We thank them for their support. American craft food, beer, and cocktails. A 21-foot digital big screen TV indoors and plenty more TVs throughout the restaurant and a back patio. Open at 11 a.m. Wednesdays through Sundays and open at 4 p.m. on Mondays and Tuesdays. All right, guys, so let's get into this. Dylan, I'm going to throw it to you first. You've already spoken about Bama Hate Week, as it, of course, is commonly known around here. And I don't know if y'all can tell, and whether this is just by divine intervention or just careful planning by people, but this game, the third Saturday in October, is so aptly put because it's always this time of the year when those gorgeous trees outside start turning orange and crimson, and it really sets the tone going into, especially this year, a big game. Dylan, tell me, Tennessee, of course, playing Bama this weekend. Is it realistic we come away with the dub?
I think it's possible. And every year, everyone always says, "Oh, it's the year we're going to finally beat Bama." And as you can see it, and you guys might be able to hear it, I'm beating on the table just because of how superstitious I've gotten. But as the years have gone by, we've gotten closer to beating them. We've gotten further from beating them. I think this is the closest we'll be able to get to beating them. And it's years ago, like freshman year, I was talking about how Coach Pruitt said, "Hey, we might not be that good. Just have hope, though." Even though that was a kind of a dumb thing for him to say, this is the hope we've all been waiting for in my 4 years. So to see it kind of come to an end with me graduating next year, if I'm going out, this is the perfect way to end or play the season. My last season here watching football.
Absolutely. Dominic, also,
yeah,
man, how you feeling about game day coming a second time this season, considering it was 5 years prior?
It's blown my mind. I can't believe the hype that's just been able to generate on this campus. I remember when I first got here too, I'm not a Tennessee native, so it's pretty foreign to me. But at the same time, I remember getting here and there was no hope on campus around the football team at all. The football team was a joke. I mean, Neyland was called other teams' practice stadiums. And now it's changed completely. I've been thrilled to watch the transition. It's been remarkable. And I really do think we have a chance on Saturday to win, because this is the weakest I've ever seen an Alabama team as far as I can really remember, to be honest. I feel like Bama is finally starting to crumble a little bit.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing, because Bama is undefeated, yet we call them the weakest they've ever been, which is kind of an oxymoron. Yeah, it's an oxymoron, because you wouldn't expect a team that's undefeated to be the worst they've ever been. But given Bama's history, you expect them to be like absolutely dominant. But they almost lost to Texas a while ago. They almost lost to A&M. You can see the cracks forming, and it's possible.
It's teams that start with a T too. So
true.
Third time's a charm.
Hey, number 3, or the word 3 starts with a T too.
I mean, I think we can see cracks forming, but I think those cracks probably are in the AC joint of Bryce Young. Because you know what? We don't even know if Bryce is playing this week. And I think that's been a huge hit for Alabama and their team. In all seriousness, Bryce Young, you never want to see any competitor go down.
Oh, no.
I love to watch the kid play. And I hope he does play this weekend. I really do. Because we always want a team, and a very good team, to be at their best. Dylan, I know you just said that Bama is having one of their more down years, and it really blows you away at the fact that it was 2008 was the last time that they had close finishes, I believe, single point finishes against unranked teams in the same season. So basically Texas and A&M both being unranked were still very close matchups for Bama. And that's what we consider a so far down year for them. So whether we see Bryce Young this week or not, yeah, Bama is showing definitely signs of being beatable for sure. I think we've all seen that. Justin, what's your take on the game this weekend?
Bryce Young. Shoulder sprain. That's all the story. It happened like 2 weeks ago. Arkansas. So we're not doctors. The timetable.
You were a journalism student.
Right. The timetable to return from a shoulder sprain like that is 4 to 6 weeks. So this would be the third week since the injury, I believe. Second or third week. So even if he plays, he's not going to be ready. So I think the team I'm preparing to play Jalen Milroe. And the offense going a lot different with Milroe. It's a lot to run focus. It's run focus. It's just him and Jameer Gibbs combining for 40 carries. That's how it was last time. They barely called away. They added 24-5 with a squeak 5 with a 4-point victory at home. 4-point victory at home against a middling opponent. So based off last week, how we did. How our run defense was against LSU. We stopped Jaden Daniels. Who was their leading rusher? Like 30-something yards. They only amounted to 55 yards total. The blue is there, and Jalen Milroe. And if Milroe was the starter, I think we're favored.
I can totally see that. I want to quickly get into, what Dylan and I were talking about before the show. So, we talked about going into this game, not knowing if Bryce Young was going to play or not, and kind of what Bama's sentiment going into this game was concerning that for the most part. And what we talked about, I made the comment that I feel that Bama this week is not going to put a lot of emphasis on it, despite the fact it is a top 10 matchup, nearly a top 5 matchup, because they are looking at the long-term picture. You just mentioned it, that shoulder sprain injury, Justin, of course, that can cost you weeks. That can cost you a month and a half in realistic time. Now you can put as many injections, for inflammation and just whatever else that they can legally do to help that injury heal, or at least let it not be painful for him. But at the end of the day, that's a hard injury to overcome in just a few weeks. And yes, it's only been 2 weeks. And my thing is, Bama's going to look out for the safety of him, and not, I think they like what they have in Milroe. He's shown some promise. But my thing is, Bama, I feel, doesn't absolutely care whether or not, if they lose this game, they're like, you know what, we'll chalk that up as a loss and just move on. We're not going to put a big deal to it. That's just the way I feel, because they know later on down the road, if you lose to Tennessee, that's not a divisional loss. That's, that isn't, there's a conference loss. It does still count against the conference record, but it's not a divisional loss. It's not losing to A&M or somebody where that can really come back to bite you at the end of the season, if that ends up being your only SEC loss. And 2 is because they know if that was to be, and they were still able to get to Atlanta, they could potentially face Tennessee there with a healthy Bryce Young and with a healthy, more all-around healthy squad, and to just have a better shot at taking them down.
In the long term, that argument does make sense, and I agree with you on it. But, and I always talk about things from kind of the fan perspective. How would that look on Alabama if they finally lost to us? The last time they beat us, my friend sent me a fun list of a bunch of stuff that was going on the last time we beat Alabama. Talladega Nights was in theaters. High School Musical came out. Bryce Young was only 5 years old, and Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back was the #1 song on iTunes. So it's been a long time, and people care that it's been that long that they've held us off. But this year, I don't know if they can do it. And if, knock on wood, we finally get through, their fans are going to be upset.
Yeah, my Alabama
Yeah,
friend.
my Alabama
is coming up
friend
in
is
just
coming
coming
up
up
in
in
the
same exact.
You
You already know what they're gonna say.
You already know what they're gonna say.
Oh, if we got Bryce
Oh,
Young,
if we got Bryce
That's
Young,
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
Bryce
Bryce Young. That's all you're gonna hear.
I really
want Bryce Young to play so we can beat him at
play
full
so we
strength.
can beat them
They
at full
can't say
strength.
anything.
They can't say anything.
They don't have Bryce Young.
They don't have
We
Bryce
don't
Young
have
this
said.
year, but we don't have said it. So we don't have told them.
They'll say
That's not
something
as big
stupid
as-
like
That's not as big.
Bryce Young wasn't at 100%. That's their excuse.
Yeah, there's always going to be
Yeah.
something they're going to say to that.
I've been frustrated with that in particular with Vol wins because everyone just keeps talking our wins down. Everyone says LSU's mediocre, Pitt's mediocre after we beat them. But before we beat them, they're talking about how they're going to beat us.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think that's just how trash talking in sports works. So,
Well, yeah, but it's beyond the team's fans. It's people in the college football world, which is more annoying than just fans.
yeah.
What Dylan's saying
is
to be fair, it's never fair.
to be fair, it's never fair. For
Fair
us.
enough. Yeah.
As it goes, especially with trash talk in the South amongst SEC schools. And, and just speaking of trash talk, one thing that gets me is that Alabama, they play that song, Dixieland Delight. We all know it.
Mhm.
And it's a really good song. Really good song. You know why it's a really good song? Because what, Dylan?
It's about Tennessee.
It is about Tennessee. And that is the thing. Look,
The fifth
crank
word of
it
the
up.
song is Tennessee.
Absolutely. Tennessee Byway. And Jason, I love it. Our former executive producer, Jason Wyrick, last year, making that shirt that he wore down there with myself down to Tuscaloosa saying, Dixieland Delight is a song about Tennessee.
And one of the guys is from Nashville, I think.
There you go. And so crank it up all night. That's what we want. We want you to play Dixieland Delight. We want that to happen because you know what? We're going to chant that Tennessee part as absolutely loud as we can and show you why it's a beautiful Tennessee Saturday night. So anyway, I just want to get that out there because it does get you. You're like, you know what? I know it's the band Alabama, but hey, you can sing about Tennessee all you want. We love it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we do. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I mean, we're not singing Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about, Dominic. Thank you. It's very succinctly put.
Why don't they make that their theme song?
It's right there. It's so easy. I really don't know why they don't.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it gets me. But that is what it is. We're man, I just can't believe we're 3 days away. We've got game day. We've got SEC Nation coming. Dylan, you kind of alluded to it in the intro. We are the epicenter of college football this Saturday. All eyes on Knoxville, Tennessee. I mean, how does that feel, guys? Especially for, Dominic, you talked about you didn't grow up here. I know some of you, Justin and Dylan, you guys are fairly younger. You weren't around during some of those better years, former years back in the day. How does this feel for you all knowing Tennessee? Like, this is what it feels like to be a team that people want to see.
I was talking with my dad the other day, and he was telling me about he didn't necessarily watch Tennessee football in like 98, but he like knew how good Peyton Manning and all those guys were in the late 90s when I don't want to say it's the last time we were relevant, but when we were, I'd say, more successful than we are now. That being said, we're still doing absolutely fantastic, but we were something everyone talked about because it's just constantly, wow, how about those Vols? They are just destroying everyone. Now, those years went away, unfortunately, as they all kind of do, because every team goes through its highs and lows. But we're now back at our highs. And the fact that maybe in a few years, how people are wearing those jerseys that say 1998 on the back of them, you might see jerseys that say at the earliest 2022. I don't want to make any early predictions, but
Sounds like a prediction.
I don't want to say it is because are we national championship ready? I don't think so, but crazy stuff's happened.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just been such an incredible feeling getting to go here. The privilege of going to the school is remarkable. The opportunities it provides to just be such a sports school is incredible. And I mean, it's crazy. My dad was on a cruise in Europe and Vols fans were there. Like we have fans in Europe now. This is crazy. We're just such a huge deal right now. We're the face of the game. It's everyone you talk to. You can just talk about Vols football and be proud. It's the best feeling ever. I love going to the school so much.
Yeah, when I was a kid, the Mount Rushmore Vols players for me. I thought this was the glory. I thought this was glorious. Dobbs, Kamara, Juwan Jennings. We got to throw Eric Berry in there too. But just to see. You know, at the beginning of the season, that we had a glimmer of hope. Last year. Maybe we could do something. Get second in the SEC East. But now our trajectory is sky high. Talk about the fans. We sold out a game against Akron. Nearly 100,000 stadium. We played that away game. Pittsburgh Pirates game. They were chanting Pittsburgh Pirates game. Stuff like that, you don't see. You just don't see it all. Except for it's a great time. It's a great time. A great time to go to school. For me, to go to school. I love it. I love it.
So, I wanted to find a way to squeeze the whole LSU trip in last week into our convo today. Not so much to talk about the game. Everyone out there listening, all of us here on the show, obviously know Tennessee took care of business more than expected for that LSU game down in Death Valley. I myself was there as a fan, not covering it. I was there with my wife and brother and a niece, and it was just such a great atmosphere, guys. I mean, I don't know if y'all have been to a road game, but it's touching on everything you guys are talking about. Tennessee fans absolutely show out for road games. It is so impressive to see. Guys, I mean, I went down to, I think it was the Gator Bowl the other year playing Indiana, and everyone's in Whataburger just chanting Rocky Top as loud as they possibly could. I heard a story down in LSU about a flight from Atlanta to New Orleans that most Vol fans, that was packed with a majority of Vol fans. And it got to a point that the fans were singing Rocky Top on the plane so much, they actually put it on over the intercom that the pilot speaks on, just to appease the fans. Like, it is the tradition and the love for the university is so unreal. I myself consider myself so blessed that I'm a senior in this season where College Game Day is about to come twice, and we have SEC Nation coming too that are just really hyping this game up. I mean, it just speaks to Vol Nation itself. Everyone down in LSU that went down there and showed out. Y'all talked about the Akron game, and fans came out and supported Tennessee for that. Like, Dominic, to add on to what you said, I've been to New York City standing in line to go watch an Astros-Yankees game, and there was a lady that walked up right behind my wife and I, no lie, wearing a Tennessee shirt.
Oh, wow.
In the middle of the Bronx. Like, you can go anywhere, man. You'll find the strength and the love of Vol Nation. It is true. It is tangent. And we love it, man. I know everyone, I'm speaking for all you guys, that we're all so blessed to be students, especially right now. There's been some darker times on this campus, and we are fortunate to be a part of some of the better times that we're seeing right now, and hoping that this is only laying a foundation for what is to come in the future. Do you guys, we're going to do it anyway. Let's get some score predictions for this weekend. Dylan, I'll start with you.
I am going to go 30-28 Tennessee.
Not bad. But let me explain what I'm thinking here.
Okay.
So the Vols, they want to win bad, real bad. And so I'm thinking Tennessee's really, really going to take it to this game. I think that Bama, they're the weakest they've been in a while. And I think that Tennessee's really going to jump on that. And so I'm taking Tennessee 35-28. I think that Tennessee's going to get it done with a little bit of oomph.
All right.
You know what? I
really thought you were going to say they were going to cover there, to be honest.
What's the spread? What's the spread?
What is it still Bama 7.5?
Bama by a touchdown.
Yeah.
At least last time I checked.
Okay. Well, I don't think Bryce Young plays. Even if he does, he's already a small guy. He's already a crazy pass rush. Coming at him. If it's like it was last week, it'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. Score prediction. We definitely getting a 30. I'm thinking 38. Jalen Milroe plays. They'll struggle to get 30. I'm not gonna lie. They'll struggle to get 30. Bryce Young plays. We're still gonna win. We're still gonna win 38 to 30. But if Milroe plays, I think it's pretty large victory. I'm thinking 38. 24.
Okay.
Bold. Even bolder than me.
I'm feeling really bold about
I'm
this.
feeling really bold about this.
A lot of good feelings.
going in this
All
game.
fans are.
Yeah, trust me. I think most fans are, as Dylan just said. I am as I've been all season, cautiously optimistic. I continue to use that phrase because it just aptly defines the way that I think the majority of people really are probably feeling. Like, you're confident, but as we knew with Florida, it's Florida. As we know with Bama, it's Bama. Hooker has been tremendous this season. Knock on wood again for me, Dylan. No turnovers this season, as far as I'm aware, in terms of like interceptions. To me, Tennessee wins if he continues to do that, to not turn the ball over, continues to make smart plays, make plays with his feet. I think that's going to probably have to come down to that because I think Bama does a very good job of trying to lock up receivers. I do think we're going to have a good day through the air. Don't get me wrong. But I think, Hendon's going to have to make some plays on his feet. If he is able to continue to not turn the ball over and be as efficient as he has been with that, and if Tennessee can just get them at least one, get him a fumble, get him a pick, get Bama in a situation where they maybe just ever so slightly feel that game slipping from them, and then that's when you have to go on the attack. Tennessee's defense right now for Bama, whether Bryce plays or not, the D-backs, we've seen them get eat up. I think that's going to happen this game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring affair. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't worry about Bama rushing versus our front line. We held LSU to 55 yards. We've held Florida to minimal yardage as well. I think we do well in that department. Maybe Bama gets the most yards allowed on the season. But I think through the air is where they have to beat us. And they can if we are going to be out McCullough this week. And I don't know the wording on that just yet. But obviously we are already down Warren Burrell. So that being said, guys, I do anticipate a high-scoring matchup. But I think Hendon comes through for us. Hendo Cinco gets it done. And I'm going to say Vols win. Oh, man. I'm going to say 38-34.
So it's going to happen.
Dominic, you've had some of the better predictions this season, so I hope you're more correct. I'd rather not have another nail-biter game, but more than likely that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think, too, with Bama, their discipline's just been bad lately, too. And that's uncharacteristic of a Nick Saban team. So that's been one of my tips that Tennessee's going to be able to pull away.
Yeah. Well, we will see this Saturday. Again, that will be on CBS 3:30. Again, everyone out there, you got College Game Day coming to campus. You got SEC Nation coming to campus. And I'm telling you, starting today, this city, this campus is going to be packed, and it is going to be lit this entire rest of this week. Maybe even going further, depending on what happens Saturday. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back. We'll be talking about some Ladybug Volleyball, soccer, and some of the MLB postseason that's just getting started. Stay tuned. This is your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports here on WUTK The Rock 90.3.
Hi, I'm Sharon Jones of Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, and you're listening to 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
Support for WUTK comes from Fieldhouse Social, the modern sports bar next to campus at University Commons. Fieldhouse Social serves American craft fare such as burgers, wings, and more with high tops around the bar, a separate dining area, and a center lounge with leather chairs and couches in front of their 23-foot LED TV wall for Tennessee and pro sports. Fieldhouse Social is an outdoor patio with trivia twice a week and sponsors Wednesday's Rock Solid Sports. FieldhouseSocial.com.
90.3 The Rock thanks the UT Athletic Department for their support. Season tickets for the 2022 UT Volunteers football season are on sale now. The next phase of Neyland Stadium renovations will be ready for the new season with home games against Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, and more. Info at allvols.com. A link is at WUTKradio.com. 90.3 The Rock wishes Coach Heupel and the football Vols good luck this season on the gridiron.
The Rock receives support from The Hill, Fort Sanders' destination for wings, beer, and sports, including college football every Saturday and the NFL's Sunday Ticket. The Hill proudly hosts Rock Solid Sports Friday broadcast from 7 to 8 p.m. Located at 1105 Forest Avenue, just blocks from UT campus, The Hill is open 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. every day. TheHillKnox.com.
They're playing basketball.
Volunteer Radio thanks the UT Athletic Department and the men's basketball program for their support. Coach Barnes' 8th season on the hardwood includes home games against Kentucky, Vandy, and more at Thompson Bowling Arena. General public ticket info for UT basketball is at allvols.com. Student ticket info and login is at bigorangetick.utk.edu. That's TIX. Volunteer Radio says Go Vols basketball.
Volunteer Radio thanks all who helped to keep us on the air through the Kroger Community Rewards Program. For those who have not enrolled, it's as easy as heading to WUTKradio.com and clicking on the Support WUTK banner on the homepage, instantly linking to the Kroger Community Reward page. Log in and connect your Kroger Rewards card, and be sure to designate the WUTK Gift Fund as your nonprofit of choice. While enrolled, using a Kroger Plus card allows 10% of most purchases to go directly to our nonprofit WUTK Gift Fund, helping keep Knoxville's best radio station on the air, and it costs nothing extra at all. This also includes purchases made at Nashville area Kroger stores. Spread the word to family and friends to enroll in the Kroger Community Rewards Program today, and please choose the WUTK Gift Fund, helping to keep the award-winning, self-supporting student lab and radio station on the air. Thank you for listening and supporting WUTK through the Kroger Community Rewards Program.
Bonjour, Knoxville. This is Webb Wilder, the last of the full-grown men. You're listening to 90.3 The Rock, bringing Knoxville new music first.
Knoxville, be sure to tune in Wednesday nights from 8 until 10 p.m. for The Alternative, sponsored by Bliss and Corey Mason Shoes on Gate Street and Westtown Mall. And Bliss Home with the Gallery Shopping Center, also sponsored by Boyd's Chicken Grill, bar and live music venue in the heart of Knoxville's Old City. The Alternative features 2 hours of the best in Americana music from the station who first brought Knoxville music by bands from back in the alt-country days, like the Jayhawks, Uncle Tupelo, Steve Earle, and Jason and the Scorchers, to 90s Americana like the V-Boys, Whiskey Town, Lucinda Williams, Sunvold, and others, to modern-day Americana musicians like Molly Tuttle, Tyler Childers, Casey Musgrave, Sturgill Simpson, Billy Strings, and the Punch Brothers. You'll also get classic Americana like Johnny Cash, the band, and Emily Harris, and there's always Patsy Cline at 9. Tune in Wednesday nights at 8 for The Alternative. Sponsored by Boyd's Chicken Grill, Bliss Home, and Corey Mason Shoes, and only on 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
WUTK thanks Cool Beans, 1817 Lake Avenue, 1 block south of the Strip, sponsoring and hosting the Monday night Rock Solid Sports broadcast at 7 p.m. Cool Beans is the pregame and postgame location for UT football, and Knoxville's home for the NFL Sunday Ticket, Titans football on the big screen, and more. Rock Solid Sports kicks off Monday Night Football with the show's live broadcast from 7 to 8 Monday nights at Cool Beans. Cool Beans is 21 and over after 9 p.m. with a full and late night menu. CoolBeansBar.com or their Facebook page.
The Rock thanks the Knoxville Ice Bears Southern Professional Hockey League team for their support. Their 2022-2023 home ice season from October through April includes games with SPHL rivals Fayetteville, Huntsville, Roanoke, and more at the Civic Coliseum downtown. Single game and season tickets are at KnoxvilleIceBears.com or 865-525-PUCK. Rock Solid Sports features Ice Bears Wednesdays with news and updates. Volunteer Radio says, Go Ice Bears!
Welcome back to your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports here on WTK The Rock 90.3. This is your host, Chris, and I've got, of course, with me my wonderful crew. I've got Dylan here with me in studio over in the Fishbowl. We've got Dominic, and over at our Wednesday night sponsor, we have Justin. let's throw it out to Justin real quick and get a quick word from how it is over at Fieldhouse. Are you playing any trivia, my man?
Hey guys, I'm not playing trivia like Dylan was, but join the 20 plus TVs they got. 20 plus TVs they got. Phillies and Braves game on behind me. So NBA preseason, drops to take on it. Yeah. So yeah, place to watch
Is the Caps game on? Justin, is the Caps game on?
Don't see the Caps game. I don't. Maybe I gotta ask
that's
him.
a problem.
Maybe I gotta ask him then.
That is not going to appease our Dylan Becker. We will get into some hockey here in just a second. I do want to talk about, of course, Lady Vol sports going on real quick. We have Ladybug Volleyball. They are coming off 2 really good wins against South Carolina this past Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, they beat South Carolina 3-2, and Sunday swept them in 3 series. So good weekend for the Lady Vols. Next, they are going to be playing at Arkansas this Friday and Saturday. Arkansas, not so hot their past couple contests. They did lose to Kentucky on Friday and Saturday. So Tennessee coming off of 2 wins and Arkansas coming off 2 losses. Hopefully bodes well for the Lady Volleyball team, who is doing well to try and turn that season around and get things going there. Lady Vol soccer is coming off 2 big wins over the past week since we had our last show. They beat Missouri last Thursday at a game that I was at.
I was there too.
Dylan was there, yep. And as well as UGA this past Sunday, they beat both of those squads 2-0 and have won 4 in a row. So Lady Vol soccer, again, a team that had a rocky start to the season and have kind of really evened out and even started to really climb since then. I think getting into conference play for whatever reason has really helped get them clicking, and they're looking very well, looking very good right now. We'll see if they're able to sustain that success going forward. Dylan, the next game is this Friday against LSU, correct?
I believe so.
Yes. They will be playing versus LSU. I have it written down here. Tigers coming off a loss and a draw in the last 2 matches. So, as it bodes for the Tennessee volleyball team, hopefully it does as well for the soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
Their recent success versus their upcoming opponents, kind of recent failures. So hopefully that plays into the Lady Vol soccer team's hands, and we will keep an eye on that and be discussing it next week. We're going to get into some MLB postseason, guys. It is, again, that wonderful time of the year. Well, for some people at this point, maybe it's not so wonderful anymore.
Mm-mm.
For some people, though, it is only continuing to get better. So I want to talk first and foremost about the wild card round that we had. Many people did not have the Phillies upsetting the Cards, nor the Padres upsetting the Mets. I just think those were 2 series for sure that really stood out to me over the weekend in terms of something I just was not prepared for. I thought the Cardinals were locked in, at least going to a divisional series and possibly championship series, as well as the Mets. It seemed like they were destined to meet the Braves or the Dodgers in the NLCS. What do you guys think about the series over the weekends? Any of the other ones caught your eye?
And I know the Padres-Mets one kind of stuck out to me just because former Orioles coach Buck Showalter was kind of throwing some concern into it, the legitimacy of the game. I can't remember the name of the Padres pitcher off the top of my head, but they had him checked because his ears were shiny or something.
Yeah. Joe Musgrove.
Right, thank you. And so I don't know, some sort of performance enhancing thing, but it's baseball. When you truly get desperate, I guess you kind of try to pull stuff like that. But it's you always kind of hate when the legitimacy of a sport's brought into question like that, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think for the Padres, man, I think it was just shocking to see from the Mets' perspective, to see them dominating like they were. Joe was just out there doing his thing. And I think some people had a legitimate concern about what they were seeing, as far as a really shiny year and, Sweat doesn't shine like that and things like that. I don't know if there was anything on the ear. I know at the end of the game, the reporter did ask him, so what was on the ear? And his answer was, I don't know, and yada, yada. I feel like if there was nothing going on, the obvious answer would have been nothing. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm not saying that there was something illegal on there. I'm not saying that at all. But there was clearly probably something that he had used. And someone mentioned Red Hot could have also been an option.
And I know one thing players do is it gets cold. It's getting in the colder months. But they put something on their skin that's unfortunately has to be exposed because it's your ears. Kind of hard to cover them up, and in a sport you need to be able to hear, so you can't put on earmuffs. So they put this weird ointment or whatever on it that kind of numbs your ears, so you don't.
Tiger Balm.
Yes, that. Don't really know how it works. People smarter than me know, but it just makes so it's not, you don't feel it as cold.
Yeah, one of the matchups I was really excited about was getting to see the Mariners pull a win. After their horrible streak was ended. And, Julio Rodriguez is a great player. It's great to be able to see him do well. It seems like the Mariners are able to scout really well and get talent from Latin America. And so it's really cool to see them kind of grow the game in that way and be able to actually pull off a win.
Yeah, that was definitely surprising for me. We had the Mets. I think most people had the Mets going far, and at least into the divisional series. I know the Braves and Dodgers have controlled the NL for a while now. At least, I know the Braves didn't get that division win till almost a few days left of the season. But I think most people felt that was probably coming. I called it back. I think it was July or August. I just felt that eventually Atlanta was going to catch New York, and that they were going to end up taking it. I'm not surprised by that New York ended up with the wild card, but I think in just going out the fashion they did, all the money, there's not any more money being spent on a roster than in Queens, New York. And so it's very Yankee-ish of them to have that much money spent and not even make it that far in the playoffs. And of course, I'm talking Yankees of the past decade and a half or so, but nevertheless, very embarrassing look for the Mets. The other two matchups were, one of them was just absolutely phenomenal. I think they were both good series. Guardians over the Rays, a little lackluster, but I think the Guardians surprised me a bit in that series. But mostly the Mariners beating the Jays. I think we talked about it last week. The Jays were one of the more complete teams coming in. The Mariners were just, they were having a very good end of their season, riding some postseason magic, first time in 21 years. And I just felt like it was going to carry them through. And ultimately, that's definitely what happened, especially in that second game, coming back from 8 or 9 run deficit to overcome Toronto and move on to the divisional series. Did either of you guys end up catching that series? What'd you think about it?
I wasn't able to.
I wasn't able to either, but I was able to read the scores cards, and it's just really exciting to see. I don't know. I just like the Mariners. I like seeing teams who haven't done well in a really long time. The Kings are next up on that playoff drought streak for longest. So, it's exciting to see the Mariners kill it. Now let's see the Kings kill it. But these playoffs have been really exciting so far. Really lots of unanticipated things happening, high-scoring games. It's great baseball being played right now, unless you're a pitcher.
Yeah, it's always a nerve-wracking time for pitchers this time of year. We saw Verlander yesterday get beat up. That's a good segue into the divisional series here real quick. He went out there, Astros versus Mariners. Speaking of the Mariners, man, while we're on the subject of them, they came out with extreme fire. Seemed like they had a plan that they really wanted to accomplish, and they did very well with that plan all the way up until the very end when Scott Servais made a very questionable decision about who was going to close that game, put in Robbie Ray, and the guy here on the back of my jersey went ahead and cranked a 3-run homer over the right side wall. That's Yordan Alvarez for you, Dylan. Just one of the better hitters in the league today, but especially the AL. But nevertheless, man, it was a tremendous game one. At least it was probably the most exciting one so far. That was I had to contain myself on yesterday's Rocky Top Roundup show, man. We were on StreamYard and everything, and I had to like close, put the hands to the mouth because I just was, it's one of those moments you see it happen live, and it's hard to contain yourself. So hopefully how I feel at the Alabama game this weekend. But moving past Alabama once again, I just want to mention that. So again, the Astros almost upset in that first game, but they do take a 1-0 lead over the Mariners. Braves were upset in game one. That's the one many people around here had their eyes on. Were not able to get it done, and they, as Justin mentioned earlier, finally it seems like getting game two started. Bit of a delay in that one, so good to see that up and going. We'll see if the Braves can even that one out. They had a good comeback yesterday in the ninth inning there, and just were not able to overcome a 6-run Phillies lead that they had built up already to that point. So we'll see if Philly can keep some of that magic going today. My better judgment tells me it'll be 1-1 going back to the city of brotherly love there. And as far as the Yankees, they took care of Cleveland. They are up 1-0. It was a good game for a while there, and the Yankees took control of it. I think the series is still going to be interesting, though. I will continue for sure to keep my eye on it and see how that goes moving forward. And last one, Dodgers were tested by San Diego, had a 5-run lead. Wasn't a big test off the back, but eventually San Diego mounted a comeback, put 3 runs up, and threatened in the next inning, and just were not able to overcome the 5-run deficit. But so we're used to seeing the Dodgers beat the Padres, but I think this series feels a little different. I don't think the Padres are going to win it, but I do think it'll be competitive far more than their previous series have been. All right, and with that being said, we're going to throw it to Dylan for some NHL talk. Their season started yesterday.
Yeah, and it's always a fun time. It's what you guys bring me on to do. Reminder, Ice Bears start next week against Evansville. Raise a glass, raise a banner night / all night. I'm hoping we can start getting Coach on starting next week. Still working on that, but we'll get that more consistently and figured out in the next 7 days. But as I said, Chris, leagues finally started yesterday. We had, I need glasses. New York the Rangers beat Tampa Bay 3-1. Vegas beat LA 4-3. Very impressive matchups. I was just glad to watch hockey in a regular season. Didn't matter who was playing, but tonight, TNT Wednesday, Washington and Boston are playing right now, and that is, hate to say it, Boston's up 2-0 going into halfway through first intermission. We also have Toronto and Montreal going right now, with Toronto up 1-0. Later tonight, Chicago, Colorado, also on TNT. Columbus, Carolina, Seattle, Anaheim, Vancouver, Edmonton. The Predators starting tomorrow against Dallas at 8:30. Technically, they're already 2-0 because they counted the European games against San Jose, which good for them. They currently are the winningest team in the league. And people are already making their predictions. I won't make any now because it's such a long season. I don't like to think of stuff early. But Colorado's favorited to go back-to-back, which I wouldn't be against seeing. Calgary's favorited to maybe upset them. Carolina, Pittsburgh. It's either as all sports and championships work, it's either going to be a repeat or someone else is going to win. But all these teams have very strong cases for them building solid teams over the offseason and throughout free agency. But the fun thing about hockey is just a lot of crazy stuff happens over the season, so we'll see what happens. We're talking about it all year. It's going to be a fun time.
Absolutely. We are always excited about the start of hockey season. You guys know I myself, I don't always keep up the best with hockey, but I do love watching it. It is a fun sport to watch and especially to go participate in. So with Ice Bears Wednesdays coming back up soon, of course, we will be covering many of those games coming forward. Stay tuned for of course, when we have Coach Clark on here in the near future. We very much look forward to that and to seeing what the Predators can do this season. Dylan, you in your caps for you personally, but nevertheless.
I try to talk about everyone, but we know where my allegiance lies.
He does not hide it, and that's what I like about you, Dylan. All right, we're going to take a quick break real quick, and we will be right back. We're going to talk some Titans football. On the other side of the break, stay tuned. Your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports, WTK The Rock 90.3.
FM Knoxville, UT's College of Rock.
Support for WUTK comes from Fieldhouse Social, the modern sports bar next to campus at University Commons. Fieldhouse Social serves American craft fare such as burgers, wings, and more with high tops around the bar, a separate dining area, and a center lounge with leather chairs and couches in front of their 23-foot LED TV wall for Tennessee and pro sports. Fieldhouse Social is an outdoor patio with trivia twice a week and sponsors Wednesday's Rock Solid Sports. FieldhouseSocial.com.
There's more than one way to listen to WUTK. Of course, you can listen to us on the radio at 90.3 FM, but did you know that you can stream us 3 different ways? Visit WUTKradio.com and click on the Listen Live button. Download the free Radio FX or TuneIn apps and search WUTK, or just tell your phone or smart speaker, listen to 90.3 The Rock. It's easy to catch all of the great modern rock, hip-hop, local music, Americana, or WUTK specialty shows. However you listen, we appreciate the support. Voted Knoxville's best radio station 17 years in a row. We are Volunteer Radio. The Rock thanks the Knoxville Ice Bears Southern Professional Hockey League team for their support. Their 2022-2023 home ice season from October through April includes games with SPHL rivals Fayetteville, Huntsville, Roanoke, and more at the Civic Coliseum downtown. Single game and season tickets are at KnoxvilleIceBears.com or 865-525-PUCK. Rock Solid Sports features Ice Bears Wednesdays with news and updates. Volunteer Radio says, go Ice Bears.
Knoxville, be sure to tune in Wednesday nights from 8 until 10 p.m. for The Alternative, sponsored by Bliss and Corey Mason Shoes on Gate Street and at West Town Mall. And Bliss Home at the Gallery Shopping Center, also sponsored by Boyd's Chicken Grill Bar and Live Music Venue in the heart of Knoxville's Old City. The Alternative features 2 hours of the best in Americana music from the station who first brought Knoxville music about bands from back in the alt-country days, like the Jayhawks, Uncle Tupelo, Steve Earle, and Jason and the Scorchers, to 90s Americana like the V-Roys, Whiskey Town, Lucinda Williams, Sunvold, and others, to modern-day Americana musicians like Molly Tuttle, Tyler Childers, Casey Musgraves, Sturgill Simpson, Billy Strings, and the Punch Brothers. You'll also get classic Americana like Johnny Cash, the band, and Amy Lee Harris, and there's always Patsy Cline at 9. Tune in Wednesday nights at 8 for The Alternative. Sponsored by Boyd's Chicken Grill, Bliss Home, and Corey Mason Shoes, and only on 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
Welcome back in to your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports here on WTK The Rock 90.3. I told you it was just going to be a short break. We'll be right back. So as we round out the rest of this segment, we are going to get into some Titans talk about being above 500 for the first time this season. They are currently 3-2. Those Titans are. They beat Washington 21-17, so coming off of a nice win over the weekend. It got a little testy, though, at the end. As we all know, we've seen the Commanders having a chance to win on the last play of the game. Our very own Justin Clemmer was at the game this past weekend. He was a road warrior, and he is also a road warrior tonight at our Wednesday night sponsor, Fieldhouse Social. We're going to throw it to Justin real quick. Justin, how is the vibe going? And let us know how the game was this past weekend.
As usual. Social is a great place there. Watch sports, and we got three different sports on, right? Just two different NBA games. Two different NBA games. The baseball playoff games. I went over to FedEx Field for fall break. And it's about the stadium is as bad as people say. The location's pretty bad. The stadium itself, it's pretty on par with Nissan Stadium. Those are both bottom tier stadiums. The game itself, very scary. 2-3 is a lot different. 2-3 is a lot different going to a bye week. We got it done. There's not many good things to say. Very ugly win. Henry did get over 100 yards. Tannehill made. He held the ball. Some spots. Felt like he could have let it go. The weapons that we were giving him don't really jump off the page at all. It's actually he doesn't really have anybody. But he made some plays where some others couldn't. One that comes to mind is when he was getting sacked on third down. He made that pass to extend the drive. Defense defense 3 plays on the one, and you don't let them score to win the game. That was amazing. They sealed it at the very end. Man, it was crazy. I just felt like we were gonna lose when they got down there. At the end of the game, but Mike Vrabel pulled one at his hat.
Yeah, certainly was an interesting game over the weekend. Dominic, did you happen to catch that Titans Commanders game?
Yeah, I was able to catch a little bit of it, and I just think Ron Rivera's days are numbered. He does not look like a good coach right now. I think it's time for a change in Washington, to be honest. It hasn't been that long with Ron, but he just looks so bad. I don't know what they need to do. Washington has been looking for answers for years, and they haven't found one.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a lost team, for a while there. I think that's pretty well put. Rivera now, of course, there's been talks back and forth about whether or not he's shifting some blame to the quarterback, and I mean we kind of understand that, but you also knew what you were doing taking on Carson Wentz. So yet not only because I obviously despise Washington, but you're not going to get any sympathy from me because you knew what you were taking on in that situation. So that is what it is. For the Titans, just to sum up, of course, close game, but they did win. Again, 3-2 is the current record. They are on a bye week, and I think probably a much-needed bye week, early one, but a much-needed one, I think. And they'll be able to kind of regroup before hitting the field again the following week. And I think the Titans are still in a good spot. I know people were worried about them after game 2, but I think they were in a much better spot now than they were a month ago.
Yeah, definitely pleasantly surprised at what the Titans have been able to do. They looked really rough at the start. And, I mean, it may not be pretty, but they're winning football games, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, now that loss against the Giants still looks too bad. They're 4-1 now somehow.
Fair point. Fair point, Justin. Yeah, now looking at that Giants game, now that's like, okay, that's a little more understandable. I think the Giants are just having some crazy unfound success, but you know what? More credit to them. The NFC East is back, with the exception of Washington. They'll continue to be in the gutter, but the rest of that division race is going to be really fun to watch. Want to talk real quick. We got very limited time, but we got the Monday Night Football game, Chiefs and Raiders. That ended up being a 30-29 victory for the Chiefs. And, it was one of the more exciting games over the weekend. But I got to ask real quick, guys, is analytical football starting to kill the sport a little bit?
I think if you're playing like Patrick Mahomes, you got to take that chance. They would have won the game if they made it. Or they would have won the game if Devontae Adams So I think against high-powered offenses like the Chiefs, the Raiders are having so much success. I feel like Josh Jacobs did the first time. I think that's valid.
Yeah, I think with analytical football, the best coaches in the game aren't the ones who are looking at numbers all the time. It's the ones who are feeling the game. They know when to make the right calls. It's not based on numbers. It's based on feeling of the game, which is a skill in itself that coaches need to have. And I think a lot of coaches are trying to substitute that with analytics, and it's not really working.
Yeah, it just feels like at certain times common sense is just starting to get thrown out the window. And I understand if you smell blood, go for it, but I just didn't see any reason why the Chiefs and the Raiders both took their 2-point conversions at the end of that game. Real quick before we sign off, Dylan, how you feeling about your Ravens and Mr. Magic Leg, Kyle Tucker or Justin Tucker?
There you go. I'm excited for the game coming up. I almost want it to be a close game just so we can watch Justin Tucker do what he does best and just kick an amazing field goal to give us that late win.
Hey, that dude is worth the first round pick.
Oh yeah.
I agree with what they said the other day. Oddly enough, one of the best football players, not just kickers in the game. He's one of the best football players. That dude will go and straight lay someone out. He's very Pat McAfee-ish in terms of that. He is not scared of anybody. Justin Tucker's my guy. I really like him. I rock hard with him.
They're going to put a statue of his leg outside M&T Bank Stadium when he retires. Not him, just his leg.
Just the leg. Yeah, that's all you need, man. That's what got you a lot of those dubs. Well, all right, guys. Well, I'm sorry we had to cut the NFL segment short, but as always, we appreciate everyone out there for rocking with us. Thank you so much, and we will catch you on the other side. See you next week.
Rockin' years for 40 years on the banks of the Tennessee River.